This Mission 200 at the Glen Betting Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code RACE SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. And today, I know if you're looking in your feed, hoping for a DFS episode, I apologize. Not only are we going to do the DFS part in our shorts, but wait, hold on. That didn't come out right. We will be doing shorts of DFS this week because we've made room for, oh my God, save me, Cody. We've made room.
We got to fit all three cup races in this week, Rod.
Yeah, we do, as a matter of fact, and that's exactly what happened. Was the odds makers were deciding whether or not they wanted to give us all good odds or not, and they took their time a little bit and said, okay, well, we're gonna break this show up or break the week up into all three series, kind of like the good old days, except obviously without the DFS episode. So. All right, Cody, DFS in our shorts. Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Yes, so head over to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast over on YouTube. Click the like, the subscribe, all that fun stuff. Click the little bell. It'll send you the alerts when we go live so you can jump in the show like Charles is. Shout out to Charles. We'll be talking about Sam Mayer today. Don't worry, Charles. We got actually plenty to talk about Sam Mayer today. But, yeah, then you can get things like, we put out little clips from the show. We also occasionally will drop just separate videos of random stuff. And, hey, you never know when it might pop on a Sunday and be like, hey, taking your questions for an hour, answering whatever questions you have pre-race like I did last week. And Rod might do as well when he's around at some point. So, yeah, it's a great place to be.
It's a fantastic place to be. So please join us on the YouTube and keep up with it. And, of course, like we said, get our DFS picks. Today, though, we will be turning our attention to the third cup race of the weekend, and that is the Xfinity Series Mission 200 at the Glen. We say that because, again, these are like the last few races that some of these guys can jump down and be in, and they're taking full advantage of that. We talked about trucks yesterday on its own. We had a standalone truck episode where we talked about more cup drivers than I think we've talked about in a very long time in the truck series, and this particular Xfinity race is going to be a little bit of the same. But yeah, I mean, again, this is Watkins Glen, right? The umpteenth road course of the season and of the last about 30 calendar days. It feels like we've spent more time on the road than we have on ovals, but that's neither here nor there. So they've got plenty of practice, Cody. They've got plenty of notes coming into this, and some of them have plenty of notes from years past of actually being on this track.
Yeah, well, it's helpful to us too when we've had so many road courses in such a small time period. It's easier for us to go pull. What have you done currently and right now? Right, with the trucks, we struggled with that yesterday because there's not a lot to look at over the last couple of years, even. So it makes it tougher. But yeah, Xfinity's been here for a few years now. Always good to look back on that, and then of course, what have you done this year? What have you done lately? There is 38 cars entered for this race, Rod. So they will all make the race. Again, another. Big. This one's definitely not as big as the Truck Series list was, but there are still some notable names on here. Preston Pardus is going to be in the 07 car for SS Green Light Racing. Shane Van Goosenberg.
Yeah, you nailed it.
SVG, Shane. Did I get it?
Yeah.
Shane Van Gisbergen, he's back with JRM in the number 9 car. Of course, we'll be talking about him today. Michael McDowell, he is going to be making a start in the number 11 for Colleague. Of course, they fired Josh Williams a couple of weeks ago, plugging some Cup guys in there before they get to the playoffs. Hocevar drove that car last week and looked pretty good in it until he didn't. Herbst, he's going to jump down into the Xfinity Series here. He'll be in the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Kaz Gralla, go ahead and take note of that name. We'll talk about him a little bit today. He's going to be in the 24 car for Sam Hunt Racing. Rod, I've got some beef with you that we're going to talk about later on the show, but I have a little bit of a problem with you, and it's in reference to Austin Green, who's in this race in the number 32 car. We'll talk about that. We'll get to it. Stephen Parsons, he's back in the number 45 car. That is an Alpha Prime car. Thomas Annunziata, all name, no show, I think is what I'm going to call him for now. He's going to be in the 70 car for Derek Cope Family Racing. When you're betting on him at 18-1 for a top 10, I just want to remind you he's in a Derek Cope Family Racing car. So keep that in mind. And DFS star himself, Josh Bilicki, he's back in the 91 car for DGM Racing. So yeah, a loaded field for Xfinity as well, Rod.
Telling you, they just all wanted to come on down and play JV ball. They were like, I'm ready. Let's go. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. And they're going to this weekend, and we're going to enjoy watching it, as you've probably enjoyed watching all of the Sports Gambling Podcast's 32 NFL team previews. I know they're not done yet. They're still going. But the ones they've done so far, I'm sure you've all enjoyed. They're bringing it back. They got the phrase that pays, too, as well. Every episode, they're going to give out one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit that phrase. You could win a $1,000 circa future. Go over there and check out all of those shows. JDK, afternoon, fellas. Afternoon, JDK.
Afternoon.
Already jumping in, bringing Discord into the live YouTube show. Talking about one thing about the 11 car. Don't think cab drivers can race during the playoffs. I know 11 is not in the playoffs, but what in the world? Who's going to drive that car for the playoffs? Cab drivers.
Yeah, I don't think they
maybe?
want any cabs to drive that car. I feel like I saw an announcement at some point. I'll have to go back and look. I know that they so they've got Haley. So Michael McDowell this week. Last week he was, of course, host of our Daytona in a couple of weeks. So Xfinity's off at Richmond, but Daytona is going to be Justin Haley. Portland, it's been highly rumored that Will Brown is going to be in that car. So I think that likely you're just going to kind of see them piece together some stuff. So you won't be able to have Cup guys go down into that once we get to the final race of the regular season and into the playoffs, but you can bring guys up. So, if there's some Cup or some truck guys that they want to bring up, or, if they want to get a hold of whoever, Ryan Truex, the guy who always comes to mind. I don't know. I think he's under Toyota contract because he does a lot of the sim racing and stuff for them. But, you go find one of those types of guys. Corey LaJoie's out there, just saying. He'll already be racing in the truck series. Let's get him in an Xfinity car too. But they'll piece together that. And it might be where they sell it to certain, Will Brown at Portland. Who else do you kind of get where as they piece things together?
Yeah, it'll almost be an all-star car if it was not an all-star car. It's just an open car. It's an open seat for folks.
Yeah, I mean, no different. We've seen this for years in the past, right? Joe Gibbs does it, right? They run that car all year and have guys like Riley Herbst in it this week. And then when we get to the playoffs, Eric Almirola now has jumped into it. Guys like Ryan Truex in the past have jumped into it. And then they spread it around and that's essentially what, Spire's doing with is it the 07? I don't remember if it's the 07 or the 7, whichever truck it is, but they've got Corey LaJoie in that truck because he's a guy that's eligible to drive during those races. So they're bringing him in to chase the owner's championship or place that truck as high as possible. So I'm sure we'll see something similar from Colligan. Yeah, that car's not in the owner's playoff right now, but they still want to get the best finish they can because that helps next year with metrics and payouts and all sorts of things. And races, all those things.
Yeah, and it helps a lot too when you got Eckes and Dye in the other two Colleague cars. You're going to need all the help you can get to get there over the course of the rest of the season. But this week, Cody, we are at the Watkins Glen International in Dix, New York, set for 82 laps around this 2.450 mile paved track for 200.900 miles of left and right turns. Really, we talked about a lot of the news the other day as far as who's driving, who's in. You just covered all the driver changes, so I don't know that there's really anything else pressing about the race this weekend.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much kind of exhausted all the news. I don't think there's a ton much else to talk about. Tanner Gray did have they announced today that their baby was born, so shout out to him. I know a bunch of guys in the Discord are in on him. I think his top 5 number was ridiculously high, 66-1 or something. So maybe he'll get that new dad bump. Maybe there'll be a new uncle bump. We'll talk about that today, Rod. I'm gonna lean into that part of things. But congrats to them. We talked yesterday about Stuart Friesen, getting to go home finally, and he's at home now. So great to see that as he heals up and requests.
1,000%. Recovers? Progresses on recovering?
Words are hard, as we found out pre-show. I don't know what I'm trying to say today.
It's okay. We will coax you through the rest of the show, and we will get to all of those bets, and I want to do that. But I also first want to tell you about our friends over at Underdog. Underdog Best Ball Mania. It's happening all summer long. They're giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. There's no waiver wire. There's no argument about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog, also a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Giving you all week long Mr. Jet from the motocross. Take his better than 1.5 position, finishing position. You could see it. It's the only guy named Jet. Take that and run with it, because he has finished first or second in pretty much every single tournament that he's been, or race that he's been in over the last few months. So just look for Jet. Take the better than 1.5. Don't look back. It's a lot of fun. Sign up with our promo code RACE SGPN. You're going to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code RACE SGPN. How about MyBookie? We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and, of course, football futures and all kinds of stuff that we can pull up, because I love me some crazy, crazy sports. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, probably even yours. Easy deposit and lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. Take my Ottawa Red Blacks. They were 3-point underdogs as we entered yesterday. Minus 110 over on MyBookie. Go grab that. I think Ottawa is on a tear. All right, so they finally won one, but I think they're going to win another over Toronto. Take their +3 and don't look back. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Yeah, when you're a motocross driver and your name is Jet, I think that's almost a no-brainer that you have to be good.
That is a pretty good racing name.
I agree. All right. Speaking of good racing names, we've got a ton for you as we start to load up our card for this Mission 200 at the Glen at Watkins Glen. So, Cody, where are we beginning with our bets?
Yes, Rod, I'm going to jump into a matchup that I like. I'm going to take my guy. I've kind of been all over Mr. Sammy Smith here as of late. So I'm going to take Sammy Smith, and I'm going to take him over your guy. Sorry, Rod. But I'm going to take him over Jesse Love. You can get this one at minus 115 over on the ESPN Bet, which shout out to ESPN Bet. Once again, Ron, they are the only book out there with Xfinity Series top 10. So we'll be talking about that here in a moment. But talked a little bit about Sammy Smith yesterday on the Truck Series episode, because he's also going to be running in the truck race. So you like that, right? That's extra laps on the track, extra time on the track, braking points, all that. Well, there's not a lot that translates from the two cars. Time on track, time behind the wheel is still always important, right? And if you look at what he's done this year in particular on road courses, it looks really nice in the Xfinity Series here. You go back to Sonoma, 9th place finish. Chicago, if you want to use it, 7th place there. Cody, he was 11th at the beginning of the season. Mexico City, 10th. So 4 for 4 on road/street courses for finishing inside of the top 11. So you'd like to see that from Sammy Smith. If you go back to last year, he did have a 10th at the Roval, 13th at Chicago. Outside of that, Kind of a rough year. He wrecked out at Coda. Sonoma was a bad finish. Watkins Glen was also a bad finish. But we talked about back when he burst onto the scene with JGR at the beginning of his career, running second at Road America when things blow up on him, comes here to Watkins Glen, finishes in third place. So he's definitely got it in him to be a good road course guy, and he's gotten the results. Jesse Love, on the other hand, he's also gotten some good results, but there's been quite a bit of stuff mixed in there as well that's not as good. And Sonoma, case in point, 38th place finish. You were there for that race, Rod. I think you had some bets on him, and it was car troubles early, right? So not necessarily his problem, but shit happens. He was sixth at Coda, Coda earlier this season, so we'll give him credit for that. But Mexico City, 18th place. So again, just kind of that mixed bag of results where Sammy Smith, at least this year, has been much more consistent. You go back to last year, 19th at the Roval. He did finish 8th here, so you'll give him some credit for that, right? And 12th at Sonoma, so 6th at Coda. So certainly Sammy Smith has good results in him, but they seem to be a little bit less consistent. And I like Sammy Smith a little bit more. So give me Sammy Smith over Jesse Love, -115.
Yeah, and I know that it pains me, but as I was doing research, I just couldn't find a way to get in on Love this time because you're right. There was kind of no good way to find a way to get in because he's been inconsistent on road courses, and you think your eyes see Jesse Love running in the front all the time, and you think to yourself, it's always a good bet for him to be somewhere in there, but it hasn't been lately for it, so absolutely love this one, and unfortunately not loving Love so much at all. All right, my first bet is also a matchup, and I'm going to take my guy, Justin Allgaier, over Austin Hill. Justin Allgaier -105 to beat Austin Hill, and I mean, the tail of the tape for these guys is eerily similar, right? For Austin Hill, a 13.1 average finish. Now, of course, that is not counting the missed race that he missed last week, but still overall 13.1 for Austin Hill, 13.2 for Justin Allgaier. Allgaier does have Hill in the top 5 department where Allgaier has 11, Hill has 9. And in the beginning part of the season, Austin Hill, not bad on road courses, right? Finished 4th at Coda, and then you turn all the way down to Mexico City where he finished 3rd, and then Chicago he finished 4th. But Sonoma, he ended up finishing 12th. Justin Allgaier, kind of the opposite at Coda, and he started 4th, ended up finishing in 29th. So not a good day for him there. Mexico City, another bad day in 34th. Chicago, another bad day, 23rd. So really not doing well on road courses altogether. However, he did jump back for a 6th place finish at Sonoma, which, by the way, did beat Austin Hill in that. So here's what we talked about this, especially in the Cup Series too, when we were talking about how these OG road courses are ones that you kind of just pay attention to how they've done in the, like Sonoma, like Watkins Glen, because they've been around a while. And that's kind of what you're paying attention to because you know that they know how to drive these tracks. And so I kind of feel that way. But the only problem is that you kind of look at the races for these guys at Watkins Glen. Neither one of them have been stellar, right? Austin Hill, a 30th place finish in 2022, 14th in 2023, and then a 33rd place in 2024 where he crashed out. Justin Allgaier, the last 3 years, 17th, 16th, and 38th. So he's really only gotten Austin Hill once in that span, right? So it's a little bit confusing if you look at it, but to me, when you look at before what happened in the last 3 years for Justin Allgaier, starting in 2012, 9th, 7th, 4th, 3rd, 4th. There's a lot more history of Justin Allgaier doing better than there is worse. And I think Austin Hill, yeah, he's a pretty solid road course driver, and I understand that, we put him in that one. But look, he just got his hand slapped. Probably not going to go out of his way to make too many enemies. He's got 11 top 5 finishes in 24 road starts, 14 top 10 finishes. You look at Justin Allgaier on road courses, 60 starts, 3 wins, 18 top 5s, 35 top 10s, an average finishing position of 13 overall. So, yeah, the Justin Allgaier, really damn good at road courses. The beginning of the season kind of struggled. Maybe he'll pull it back around, and I think he's going to be in line for a solid top 6 finish. I don't know about top 5. This is a stacked field, but Austin Hill, I don't think he'll probably get top 10, but maybe not 10th or 9th is where I see him. So, yeah, give me Justin Allgaier over Austin Hill at -105.
Yeah, this one's a bit interesting, and I guess that's kind of the one piece of news we hadn't really talked about and is pertinent to Xfinity Series. Austin Hill was granted a waiver from NASCAR. Of course, he did not start the race last week because he was suspended, so that makes him ineligible for the playoffs. You have to apply for the waiver. They did give him the waiver. They granted that so he can be in the playoffs. He does not get to keep any of the playoff points he had, and notably, he cannot earn any more playoffs before the playoffs start, which means you might have some guys like a Justin Allgaier racing for stage points this week because we're not going to beat Connor Zilisch and SVG, likely, right? I think that's going to be the mindset at least. So, does a guy like Austin Hill's not going to be racing for points because there's no points to be had. So that's kind of an interesting thing that could help him in racing just for the finish. But what's the mindset he's in right now? I mean, that's got to be very interesting because I don't want to say he's racing for nothing right now, but he almost is racing for nothing these next few weeks because if he wins, it's a win, right? We all want to win, and that's great and fun, but it's not going to affect his point standing. It's not nothing can be affected. He's already locked in the playoffs with 3 wins, and he can't benefit or not benefit from finishing good or finishing bad. So I guess he's got nothing to lose. You just go out there and race for the win, but where does that put him? What kind of mindset does that put him in? It's going to be interesting to watch over the next few weeks. Not a guy that I would trust to bet on right now until we kind of see how he answers something like this. I mean, he might come out and funnel that energy and use it for good, but it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to get into his head and to figure out where it's because he's got to be a little irritated that it all happened. But look, if you don't want to sit on the sidelines, don't right hook somebody in or yeah.
JC is saying Austin Hill might dump somebody in the last. I don't think he's going to dump anybody for a while.
No.
Hopefully he's learned his lesson about that at least.
Jets are cooled, I think, for the most part. But all right, Cody, where are we going next?
Yeah, next up for me, Rod, one more matchup I'd like to hit on. The brand new uncle, Taylor Gray, of course, Tanner's brother. He is facing Nick Sanchez, -115 over on the Caesars. So give me Taylor Gray in that. And I want to start by looking at Nick Sanchez and how things have not been going well for him here lately. He wins at Atlanta, has a couple of good runs, but then 19th at Iowa last week, 33rd at Indianapolis, 37th at Dover. We're kind of in a little bit of a downturn, and we've seen this previously from him, where he had a stretch, 14th at Nashville, 28th at Pocono, 31st at Mexico City, road course, 16th at Bristol, 24th at Coda, road course. Now, he did right things with the Atlanta win, then he followed it up with 5th at Chicago, 4th at Sonoma, so some good categories on the road courses, but when he was on the cold streak and he went into road courses, he stayed on a cold streak, right? So, things weren't going great for him earlier on this season. And at those, things aren't going for him great right now. Taylor Gray, on the other hand, has been pretty great. Started shotgun on the field last week. That didn't help at a track that was hard to pass on. Finished 17th at Iowa, so that was fine. But before that, 3rd at Indy, 7th at Dover, 7th at Sonoma. Bad finish at Chicago, street course, tossing it out, right? 5th at Atlanta, 7th at Circuit of the Americas. But notable things here. He runs 7th place at Sonoma road course, of course. He runs 7th place again at Coda back to start the season, and 2nd to Daniel Suarez at Mexico City. So he's had some really good road courses in his inaugural Xfinity Series season here, Xfinity Series season, whatever. Anyways, in his rookie year. And we don't have a ton to look back on the trucks because they've not gone to a lot of road courses lately. But he's been solid from what we've seen overall, and I really am loving Mr. Taylor Gray currently. So I'm going to take him over the slumping Nick Sanchez, and I've got more thoughts on Mr. Gray in a little bit.
I wish that would have translated into Tanner Gray doing well. Maybe the uncle bump is not necessarily for both uncles. Maybe it's just for designated for one uncle.
Well, Tanner's the dad. He gets the dad bump. Taylor, I'm just hoping the uncle bump is a new thing. We've not really tried this out, but there's been quite a few brothers in the thing, but we haven't had any new uncles lately that I can think of. So,
I mean, if they had a sibling,
a new theory I'm trying out.
I like it. I approve it. No, I was thinking that if they both had another sibling that had a kid, then they're both uncles. So that's where my head was going. Oh, sorry. All right. Neither one of these guys are an uncle or a dad. Well, maybe Herbst is a dad. I don't know. But I know Carson Kvapil definitely not. I am going to take my other head-to-head, and that is going to be Riley Herbst driving that 19 Joe Gibbs car over. This season has been a series of me taking Gibbs over JRM. You guys might want to get my head checked because I have a feeling that something's terribly wrong with me.
Which is so funny because this is the worst Xfinity team we've seen from Gibbs in a year.
I know, and yet here I am taking Riley Herbst over Carson Kvapil at -120. And this is nothing more than obviously Riley Herbst having far more road course experience in the Xfinity Series than does Kvapil, because Kvapil hasn't made but a couple of starts everywhere that we're at as far as road courses are concerned. Earlier in the season at Coda, started 5th, ended up in 23rd. That was one where I was really giving him I thought him and Connor Zilisch would kind of be 1A, 1B, right, in that race. And it ended up where Carson Kvapil just did not have a good day at all. Mexico City started 4th, finished 19th. Good qualifying efforts, but he just can't seem to figure out how to actually stay up in the lead pack. Chicago started 13th, ended up finishing 16th. Now, where that turned around for him was at Sonoma, where he qualified in 7th and ended up finishing in 8th. That's all fine and well, right? Well, here's Riley Herbst's 3 starts in the Xfinity Series this year in that 19 car. In Coda, started 9th, ended up in 13th place. Beat Kvapil in that instance. He did have a 3rd place finish at Fort Worth. I mean, that's not a road course, but that's still a damn good finish for the 19 car. And then in Sonoma, I just said how good Carson Kvapil finished. Riley Herbst finished better. He finished in 5th place after starting in 15th. We know the 19 car is fast. We know that they spend a ton of time on the 19 car, and I just really honestly believe that that's what's going to happen again this week. Riley Herbst on road courses, not bad. He has got 1 top 10 and 5 starts on Circuit of the Americas. It was a 10th place finish in 2023. He did have a 16th place finish in the 98 car in his first race there. Road America, 3 straight top 10 finishes in the 98, a 7th in 2021, 2022, 7th, 2023, 5th place. Mid-Ohio, he finished 21st, so a bad day at Mid-Ohio, but Sonoma just said it. He finished 5th in the previous race just a few weeks ago, 13th and 15th in his other 2 starts in Sonoma. This track in particular has not been his friend. However, he does have a 7th place finish in 2022 and a 13th place finish in 2024, kind of bookended by a 13th and a 35th. So really, again, this is the experience of Riley Herbst coupled with the power of the 19 car versus Carson Kvapil, who's good, right? I'm not taking anything away from the kid's talent. I'm not taking anything away from the season that he's put together so far, right? 9 top 10 finishes, 4 top 5s, average finish of 14.2. But I think I trust Riley Herbst just a little bit more in this instance for this road race.
Yeah, Kvapil's shown us some good stuff, right? Had a good road race earlier this year. Coda, he looked good, but result not there. There's been a lot of that with Kvapil this year. Looks good, result not there. Herbst is turned into a veteran guy that you can kind of rely on. He's a Cup guy now, coming back down to the Xfinity Series, in fast, good car, and just a guy you can rely on to have a good finish, I think. Another guy that won't be points racing, just going to be going out there and trying to get the best finish he can. So, yeah, I actually had looked at this head-to-head and then saw you had it, so I was glad you already put it in here.
Outstanding. All right, where are we going next, Cody?
Well, we're going to say hi to Laura next. She says, "Good afternoon, guys." She's back from a little piece of heaven, the Kennedy Meadows. I don't know what that is exactly, but it sounds like a great place to go. So, yeah, welcome back, Laura. Sorry you had to leave heaven. I mean, that's weird to say. I don't know, whatever. Anyways,
Boy,
good to see you, Laura. That's what
it's Thursday, Cody.
That's what I was going for.
It is Thursday. We have pulled all Thursday
Have a good
status.
weekend, everybody. We'll see you later. Okay, just kidding. All right, Rod. ESPN Bet does have top 10s for the Xfinity Series. So make sure you go over there and support them for doing that for us. And Laura says it's in the High Sierras. So
beautiful country
like
up there.
Place.
Absolutely beautiful in the High Sierras.
Hope you had a great time. Good to see you here. All right, Rod, going back to Sammy Smith, top 10, -120. I just kind of read off all his stats and how good and solid he is and how, in 3 of the 4 road/street races we've had this season, he's been inside the top 10, and in all 4 of them, he's been inside the top 11. You can get his top 10 at minus 120. I know we've got some Cup guys in this field, but he's going to be out on Friday in the Truck Series. I think he's going to show up, put together a solid day on Saturday as well in Xfinity. So love Sammy Smith for the top 10. And then, Rod, I crept in with, I dipped my toe in the water last week with a DFS play on this man. Now I think I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Give me William Sawalich, top 10, plus 150 over on ESPN as I'm looking through these things. He kind of popped out to me. Look, he's figured some stuff out the last couple of weeks, right? 11th at Iowa last week, 6th at Indianapolis, 9th at Dover. But he's been really, even when he was bad before, he's been good on the road courses. That includes a 3rd place finish at Sonoma just a couple of weeks ago, 9th place finish at Coda back to open the season, Mexico City. He finished in 6th. Now he still snuck in a DNF at Chicago where he finished in 37th. That kind of stuff will happen. But he's in the road courses that we've been to this season. He's been really solid. That's about all we have to look with him because he did not make any starts last year. So he hasn't started here in the Cup Series at least. But I'm going to ride the Sawalich has been hot here lately, and he's been getting the top 10s on the road courses even when he sucked on the ovals. So give me some William Sawalich, Rod. Top 10 at plus 120. And we've done this before, and this is how you have to handle it, right? Nobody has made me more money this year than Sawalich, and it's been by betting against him. You get the local matchups late, on race day, been hammering him. But for that reason, he's been a guy I've paid extra close attention to. And he's starting to put it all together. We know the talent's there, right? He's been brought up through the TRD pipeline. He's a guy that's been tabbed. He's in an Xfinity ride for Joe Gibbs Racing full time. That says a couple of things. He's got a lot of money, and he's got some talent with him as well, right? So, but now he's starting to put those things together, and he's figuring it out. This is when you got to flip your switch on him. There's been guys over the years where we fade him, and then once they start to flip it, and Kyle Larson possibly becoming a that on super speedways, right? I'm not ready to fully commit, but I'm no longer on completely fade him in every way, shape, or form because he's been putting together some better results, right? Still going to find some spots where I can, but you have to change, and it's been a great ride. Again, I know there's nobody that's made me more money this year than him. Now it's time to flip. We're going to go to the other side and try to make money on him in a positive way.
And that's the name of the game, right? It's the cat and mouse game that we play with not just the drivers and the books, but with everything, even with strategy. Sometimes you got to change up because things catch up with you, and you got to adjust with the times. So absolutely love it. All right, my next top 10, I actually do have a top 10 bet this week, and it is Austin Green, the 24-year-old Trans Am driver, plus 225. If I read to you that a driver finished 7th in Mexico City, 9th in Chicago, and just outside of the top 10 in Sonoma after starting 33rd, plus 225 for a top 10 number seems rather fantastic for that particular driver. And that is Austin Green. How about 2024 in the Xfinity Series? A 7th place finish at Coda. 15th at Portland. Not a top 10, but he did start 26th that day. A 4th at Sonoma. A 10th place finish in Chicago. 11th place at Watkins Glen. Bad engine at the Roval, so he got a 30th place finish in that one. But, I mean, Austin Green, anytime he pops up and actually enters one of these road course races, he's actually not a bad driver at all for these, and it's worth taking a look at Austin Green because nobody else really does, right? This Jordan Anderson 32 car, it pops in and it does what it needs to do, and then it dips back out again. They just do what they've got to do to come in and get a good finish out of it and bounce. So, but Austin Green, man, this is one of those guys where I don't know how many people are going to be talking about him. Cody's a little bit pissed, I could tell, because there was and maybe he'll tell you, but in the doc it's an all caps relisting of this. But yeah, I mean it's short. It's Austin Green popping in and doing it. Jordan Anderson drove this to a 7th place finish at Daytona. This 32 car as well. Catherine Legg's been in this a couple of times over. Raja Karuth has been in this 32 car. So it's sort of a Jordan Anderson all-star car of sorts, but Austin Green's managed to do some good things in road course races on that. This is if like Cody bet on JJ before, Rod. Listen, man, you gotta go where it takes you.
I got to the dock before you. Jimmy Johnson was available, and I took him just to spite you. That's what this would feel like, Rod. I cannot believe every single time we've ever been to a road course, I always have Austin Green in here, top 5, top 10, whatever I can get at Green. That's what I should have done. God damn it, Laura. You're so smart. Why are you so smart, Laura? That's what I should have done. Why did I not put Austin Green top 5 in here as the next bet? Actually, the next bet I put in here is Austin Green top 10. I put it in all caps because I wanted to make sure that Rod saw it, because this is a bet that I would 100,000% have on my side of things because I fucking love Austin Green. I play him every single time. And yes, Rod was very mean, but I will forgive him. Yes, I fully endorse this play. And I'm also giving you officially Austin Green top 10 at plus 225 because it's a fucking great play. And he's been solid each and every time he showed up. He's a road course guy, and unlike an Annunziata that's a road course guy that never shows up and gets you results, Austin Green's delivered almost every single time. So we'll have to check what his top 5 number is. It is a deeper field this week, so I wouldn't go heavy on the top 5, but I don't mind sprinkling it, in a ladder form, car lift form, if you will, with the top 10. And yeah, if you don't have top 5 options, like Laura doesn't, I know JDK and our Canadian listeners don't, if you don't have ESPN Bet, because unfortunately they're the only ones who are doing it. Bet 365 kind of cowards, Rod, but that's okay. So Austin Green, love him. Also, Kaz Gralla, he's a guy that I like.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Hang on.
Just kidding.
Hang on.
And I'll tell you more about it right after this word from our friends at
Circa, the world's greatest sportsbook. Circa Las Vegas is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest, Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo, with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true DJ if you're not competing in these Circa football contests. Come hang out with SGPN at the Circa contest weekend, August 21st through the 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15. The contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off of your proxy fees. You have heard us talk about Rhythm. Rhythm's power trends, well, now they're called smart signals. Rhythm continues to crush it with smart signals. Essentially, it is the best of what their house model has to offer. The AI detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Smart signals are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. There's no touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. MLB smart signals, they're crushing it. Mike Trout and Giancarlo Stanton are a combined 14-0 on smart signals, recommending their unders. Yeah, you'd think they would be over? No, they're unders. WNBA smart signals since the All-Star break, 27-16 on smart signals with 23.36% ROI. Absolutely cooking it over there right now. Download the Rhythm app, check out smart signals, and start betting smarter. You know that we are going to be. Get your 7-day free trial today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
Shout out to our great partners, Rod. I got so worked up about the Austin Green thing that I, missed the ad break there.
It's quite all right, my friend. And apologies to the bosses. I did not download the new overlay yet. So please don't fire me. I will fix it next time. Next week, we will have the right overlay for it.
I think you'll be okay.
I hope so.
JC wants to know who's betting on the Little League World Series. Ooh. I would almost guarantee you, if there's lines available, which I think there is, that there will be stuff for that on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I believe Noah from the college baseball stuff definitely dives deep into that. So make sure you stay tuned. And 14-1, great number for Austin Green for the top 5, Laura. So if you don't get the top 10 option, definitely do not mind taking that. And then, Rod, somebody else I like, Kaz Gralla. You might not have seen that one coming, but I do like Kaz Gralla. Top 10, 4-1. Kaz Gralla kind of so he, first of all, he's a guy that's been around a long time in a lot of different spots, in a lot of different cars, making all sorts of different starts. He is in the Jordan Anderson car this week, the 32 car, I believe it was. Where'd my list go? There it is. He's in the 30. No, that's Austin Green. He's in the 24. So he's Jesus Christ. That's the Sam Hunt car. Okay. We'll get this figured out eventually, Rod. He is Kaz Gralla, a guy that I really like.
Driving some car somewhere in some distant
he's
galaxy.
in so many different rides all the time, it's hard to keep track, right? And that's why I forgot which one he's in this time. But it is the 24 for Sam Hunt Racing, a team that we've seen, Dean Thompson has been running for them for reference, and we've talked about him a lot this year, especially when we brought up the fantasy stuff. He's had a great season, right? So they can put together. Cars aren't always reliable. We've noted that before when guys like John Nemechek would come run them. But if it's a reliable car, he can get good results. He's only got 2 starts this season. It was Dover and Chicago, 22nd at Chicago. Like to see maybe a little bit better, but not going to really hold that against him. He attempted to qualify for COTA last year and did not, but I think he was in a real shitbox at that time. But let's go back to 2023 when he ran a full schedule and in a decent car. He had a good season when it came to the road courses. 18th at COTA to start the season off. He did get a top 10 at Chicago in that crazy rain race. Road America, 7th place finish for him. Indianapolis road course, 9th place finish. Did suffer a 28th here, so obviously you'd like to see something better. But 5th at the Charlotte Roval, and a tough day at Portland as well. So they're not all great, right? And that's why he's 4-1. And he's not a full-time guy either. But he's shown the ability. The conversation came up about Ryan Sieg in the Discord because I think he's like plus 650 for a top 10. But if you look back, like when's the last time he had a top 10 on a road course? It's been quite some time. And honestly, I didn't even go back far enough to see if he ever has had one. But I went far enough back to realize that he's not had good finishes, right? And 2022, by the way, 5th place finish here at Watkins Glen for Kaz Gralla. So he's done it this track before. He's done it in this series before. He's in a decent enough car. That's one of those guys that's kind of racing for his job anytime he gets a chance in there. So give me Kaz Gralla, top 10, 4-1. And JDK doing the Lord's work here. Optimal Locks is over in the Discord right now. Great contributor over there. We love seeing him always. He just dropped Briscoe as 14-1 to take the pole. Oh, buddy. Sign me up for that. Add that to the we're going to officially add that to the Chase Briscoe car lift, Rod. So go get it quick because I guarantee you those guys in the Discord start hitting it, and it's not going to last very long.
Yeah, that's the one thing about it, too. If JDK says something that it's already in the Discord and you pretty much want to already go hammer that because they definitely move lines over there, does that Discord. So, yeah, love your Kaz Gralla play. I think that's certainly worth investigating. Worth investigating as well, Cody, is this 16 car. You scratch your head because you don't know what to do with it anymore. AJ Allmendinger's no longer driving it, so you know that the odds are going to be good for it. But holy hell, how far from grace has this 16 fallen when it is now 16-1 for a top 5 finish? I guarantee you that when AJ Allmendinger was driving this 16, there's no way on God's green earth it would be 16-1 for a top 5 finish. For reference, Christian Eckes does have a top 5 finish at COTA. Now, I understand that the last few weeks have been a little troublesome when it comes to road courses for young Christian Eckes. 34th place finish in Sonoma. But before that, a 4th place finish at Mexico City, and then a 15th at Chicago. So it has been up and down. So I guess 16-1 seems kind of like a little bit of a good number, I guess, because you don't know if he's going to be in that 15 range or you don't know if he's going to be in that top 5 range. But I'm going to be willing to bet that he's going to be in the top 5 range. He's done it already. He did it in the ARCA Menards West series, right? He's done it in the Truck series on road courses, and I think he can do it again. This 16 car and this Colleague team, I know we've talked about how they've sort of fallen from grace, especially even on road courses, but it's not like they've lost all that data. And you just got to get Christian Eckes to feel as confident in this 16 as he used to when he was in the 19 in the Truck series. Because we were always talking about Christian Eckes and Corey Heim and Lane Riggs, all these guys just jockeying for position at the front. And if we can get him thinking that again, I mean, he did it at COTA, right? He had a nice solid run at COTA, and we thought to ourselves, hey, that 16 looking really good, right? It's definitely hasn't fallen off, and we're probably going to see some great things from him over the course of the next few weeks. Well, unfortunately, it didn't happen that way, and we regained a little footing at Mexico City. After a 34th place start, he drove up through the field and ended up finishing in 4th. So a great day for him there on the road course. Unfortunately, like we said, he couldn't get it done at Sonoma. But I think we're overreacting to the perils of the 16 team, and I think if anybody can pull another top 5 out of their selves, it is Christian Eckes. Now, I would take his top 10 as insurance, but I really do believe that this top 5 number is in play for him at 16-1.
No, I think that's great. I think the top 10, I was trying to get it pull up, but I'm having issues loading. But I think, because that was a conversation that was being had in the Discord as well, like Eckes top 10, I think it's only 2-1. So you're getting him at 16-1 to finish top 5. If you think he can finish top 10, those two numbers don't seem to coincide, right? And 2-1 for a guy that, like you said, has had some problems, had some issues this year. It is 2-1. I got it to load here finally. It is 2-1. That doesn't really scream, I want to go place that. But 16-1 for a guy that has finished in the top 5 before, has that capability. Now we're talking. I think I would much rather, hit that number than hit only a 2-1. That's just for the top 10. There's just not enough reward with the risk there. But if he does have a great day and he's a top 10 car, let's hope it's a top 5 car, and take that risk at that much bigger of a number.
I concur. Yeah, again, like I said, I took the top 10 number, and I was like, are you kidding me? 2-1? And then I saw the 16-1 as a top 5, and I'm like, well, he just did this earlier this season. Like, there's a lot of bets that you make, and you're like, well, this needs to happen, and this needs to happen. It's like, no, he already has done this once. Therefore, I will say that he could do this again, even this season. So, absolutely love it. Cody, Eve, yeah, Ash checking in.
Yeah, so she's teeing me up. We'll get there in just a sec. Ash checking in from across the pond. Evening, lads. Just been listening, but the live chat wasn't working. I'm glad it's working for you now. Enjoying a beer and some Dave's Hot Chicken. Ooh. There you go.
They have that across the pond?
Sawallich. Yeah, apparently they do. It says just opened here, so must be a new thing. We don't even have Dave's Hot Chicken here, I don't think. Not that I've seen. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, top 10 Sawallich and the head-to-head Taylor Gray. He's getting a plus 110 over Jesse Love. So I do like that as well. What kind of beer are you drinking over there, Ash? I'm always interested in that. JC's in on the Briscoe poll, says he'll take it as well. And hit the thumbs up. He liked and subscribed. Let's fucking go.
Let's go, JC.
Be like JC. It's a good example there. Rod Laura has a question for us. She says, how about Taylor Gray? How about Taylor Gray, Rod? Well, great timing, Laura. It's almost like we planned this, and we didn't, but good on you. I love Taylor Gray this week. I already talked about him in the head-to-head earlier over Nick Sanchez, but I'm also going to take a little bit on the Taylor Gray car lift. You can get his top 10, minus 120 if you've got ESPN Bet. Highly suggest that. You can get his top 5 for people like Laura, plus 475. I like that as well. You can get him to win the race at 50-1. I'm going to take just a little sprinkle on that. I know SVG's in this race. I know Zilisch is in this race. They were both in that Mexico City race, Rod. And Taylor Gray finished second in that race. Neither of those guys won, by the way. But Taylor Gray finished second in Mexico City, as I just said, right? Great run there. Sonoma, 7th place finish. Go back to Cody at the beginning of the year. 7th place finish. Chicago was a bad day. He started horribly, finished horribly. Nothing went good for him there. But he's 3 for 3 on the other road courses, finishing inside of the top 10. He's got a top 5 already, and he wasn't that far off from getting Daniel Suarez. And if Daniel Suarez wasn't in that race and fights his way back through, wins his home race, I mean, Taylor Gray could have maybe won that race. And he's a guy that's been close to getting that first win. We got a couple of second places starting to pile up here. He's still a young rookie, learning things, figuring it out, but he's figured it out quickly. He's put it together. He's in one of these fast Joe Gibbs racing cars. I think this is going to be a good week for Taylor Gray. So I love playing the car lift on him, starting with that matchup I gave out earlier. And there is a matchup against him and Jesse Love too. I didn't toss that one in here, but and I think that was actually what Ash was talking about. He gets getting Gray over Love at plus money. So if you get that opportunity, TK corrected me. SVG wasn't in the Mexico race. You're right. It was just Zilisch, but Zilisch was dominating and was going to win, and then didn't. I guess was my point. But sorry about that. But either way, if SVG would have been in the race, he would have finished 3rd. That's still in the top 5. Still would have cashed this. So Give me the Taylor Gray car lift.
You know, I told you we need pardon the interruption, where the guy at the end reads back all of the discrepancies that
we don't have time for that, Rob.
That's true, because they would spend all the time just telling me how wrong I've been the entire show long. So, yeah, definitely don't want that. Speaking of wrong, how wrong is a 5 to... Okay, you said it, right? Zilisch is here, SVG is here, all these people are here. But Sam Mayer does not need to be 5 to 1 for a top 3 finish. Are you kidding me with this nonsense? Sam Mayer being completely disrespected. You jump on this. Sam Mayer won the 2023 race in the Xfinity Series here at Watkins Glen. Yeah, he finished 20th last season, but, you know, unfortunately, that's going to happen to you. He finished 6th in 2022 to round out his time with the 1. He did have a top 10 finish in the 8 JRM car. Sam Mayer on road courses altogether, right? A 3rd place finish in 2024 at Sonoma. This year, kind of, man, that Sonoma race for the Xfinity Series was just plain nuts. He finished 17th, but he did start 3rd, so he had speed at the beginning. Portland, he's got a 3rd place finish in 2023. He started on the pole in 2024, unfortunately finished 28th in that race. Mexico City started 6th, finished 23rd, so can't really take it. But Road America, 2023, he won that race after starting 5th, so he's got a win at a road course there. Hey, how about the Roval? Back-to-back wins in 2023 and 2024. Sam Mayer, like I said, just not getting the respect that he deserves. And when you look at Coda as well, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 3rd in that 41 car. He finished 3rd, like I said earlier this season. Road courses, how about that? Austin finished in 3rd place altogether. Like I talked about, bad day at Mexico City, finished 7th, but came back for an 8th place finish at Chicago, and then unfortunately poor showing at Sonoma. But, I mean, that 41 car has not diminished Sam Mayer as a good road course driver. Thank you very much, JC, for exactly putting the words in my mouth. It hasn't diminished his talent, and he's definitely been shining through that 41. And we've talked about him several weeks in a row now, and he's cashed several bets for us in a row, up to and including a win, right? So it's like, I don't know where we're going with this, and I don't know why he's at 5 to 1. But jump on this now, because it may not stay that way, even especially after qualifying.
Yeah, I completely agree. I really love Sam Mayer. I took a peek at his top 5. I think that's definitely a good play. The top 3, I think, is good as well. He's a guy that's very, very good, and he's been a bit overshadowed because you got the big road course names in Zilisch and SVG now. But he's a guy that's won a ton already on road courses in the Xfinity Series. Oh, by the way, he won last week at Iowa. He's coming off of that. Got that momentum running with him, right? Getting that first win at Stewart Haas, I did it again at Haas Automation Team, Rod. Momentum's in his favor. I like that. I really like the Sam Mayer play this week.
Well, and even to kind of further that too, we talk about those guys being in those races at Coda. It was Zilisch and Byron was in that race. So it was Zilisch, Byron, and then Mayer finishing in the top 3. So these Cup guys, like we said, they don't scare some of these Xfinity regulars because they know that they're good enough in their own right that they can hang with these guys. So yeah, absolutely love it. Speaking of Cup or guys that can hang with their own right, Cody, who's going to win this race?
Yeah, I think it's SVG week, Rod, and I'm just going to ride him in both series. I'm going to take him in the Xfinity Series at -125. I know Connor Zilisch is in the field. I know Connor Zilisch is great. I know Connor Zilisch beat him at Sonoma. Rod, I think that if SVG wanted to win that race, I think that he could have won that race. I think that Chicago had just happened the week before. He kind of moved Zilisch. He didn't like the little bit of flack he took with it being a teammate, whatever. I'll try hard as I can, making it clean. It didn't happen. Okay, fine. Let the kid have this one. The kid got one. I don't think the kid's getting one again as far as a break from SVG this week. So those are his 2 starts this season. The win at Chicago, the 2nd place at Sonoma. Last year, though, he just absolutely owned this series. The 27th place at Coda to open the season, that's misleading, right? Racing Kyle Larson late, exceeds the track limits, got penalized. I think he actually technically finished 3rd or 4th. They go to Portland, he wins there. They go to Sonoma, he wins there. They go to Chicago, he wins there. They go to Watkins Glen here. It was only a 5th place finish, so, horrible day for him. They go to the Roval, 3rd place finish. But all those, by the way, in colleague equipment, which we just talked about, isn't always great. He's in JRM equipment now. He's in the 9 car. This same car just won at Mexico City a couple of weeks ago in the race that SVG was not in. But holy Ash, are those sorry, I got distracted by the chat. He's drinking these 2 beers. Are those happen to be Zipline beers? Because there's a brewery here in Nebraska that brews 2 beers called with those exact same names. That'd be crazy. Small world. But anyways, it's all about SVG this week. And I gave, if you've not listened to the Cup show back on Tuesday, I gave him out there as well. So I'm going to parlay him. I'm going to take him at -125 in this one. I'm going to parlay him at +349. I just think, this is a fast sweeping track. Like, he's just going to run away and hide. And that's what he's done in all these races. And it's worked out well for him. He's overcome multiple times where, what was it at Sonoma? Didn't he, in the Cup race, he didn't flip the stage and still won the race. Yeah. Like, he's been incredible. So I think that you just have to roll with SVG. So give me SVG -125 and parlay him at +349. Of course, I gave out Taylor Gray at 50-1 as part of the car lift. I like that for an insurance play. And then Sam Mayer, who you just talked about, 22-1 for a guy who's won multiple times in the Xfinity Series on road courses. I think that number is too big as well. So give me Sam Mayer at 22-1.
Absolutely disrespecting Sam Mayer. And it just, I guess it's because everybody's in there. And Cody, Ash is confirming Zipline Brewing Company.
Zipline Brewing Company. Great brewery. It's literally 3 miles down the road from me, Rod. Ooh. That's where they brew those beers here in Nebraska. Ash is in England drinking Zipline. Like, how fucking crazy. That's crazy.
You could zipline to zipline. I'll tell you what I had last night.
Yeah,
and the can,
I could zipline to zipline.
The can is still sitting here. It's called Chaos Machine. It was a double IPA last night. I didn't have it tonight, but I love the picture. It's like a 2-headed chicken with a phone. Like, that's a fine.
Some of the artwork on some of these cans these days is just top notch.
Well, because it gets me. That's what gets me. It's the can. It's the pictures on the can. I don't necessarily know what it's going to taste like. It's not going to taste like a double-headed chicken with an iPhone. But shout out to Hen House Brewing for that. I loved it. It was a good IPA last night. Maybe I'll go back for seconds later on down the road. All right. Well, listen, you just talked about it. The kid ain't going to get another one. He may get another one. Here's the thing. Connor Zilisch, +120. He's the guy that outdueled SVG, and you're right. If SVG wanted to win that race, he would have won that race. But Connor Zilisch is the defending winner of the Watkins Glen race from last year. It feels to me like if you're going to take an insurance play, the only other insurance play out there that's going to be a cashing one is probably Connor Zilisch, because he's probably going to be running 1-2, and if it's not SVG, it's going to probably end up being Connor Zilisch, or, like you said, Sam Mayer would probably be the other guy that I would really feel comfortable doing. I don't have to sit here, unless you're new to the show. If you're very first time ever tuning in and you don't know anything about Connor Zilisch, he did win here last year, and he's also been the guy that won at Austin. He's the guy that won at Sonoma. He came in 5th at Mexico City, and that was the race where he didn't get that win on a road course, and everybody's collective gasp. But we all know that it's Connor Zilisch's world in the Xfinity Series, and everybody else is sort of just there, because it doesn't matter if there is Cup Series guys, Truck Series guys. It just doesn't matter. He's gonna run with the best of them, and he's gonna beat them in the Xfinity Series, because that's what he does. And like Cody said, yeah, SVG may have cut him a whole lot of slack because of the teammate aspect of it. Team orders are never in effect in NASCAR. However, team orders are in effect sometimes in NASCAR when you're trying to, how much do I push this guy? Do I really give him a love tap here? Do I send him into the turn a little heavier than he probably wants to be? But yeah, I mean, these guys, and after in the interview afterwards too, when Connor Zilisch was doing his presser in the press room, he was like, it's just fun getting to race guys like SVG and going toe-to-toe with a guy like SVG. And he relishes it. He loves the challenge. He loves the opportunity to be able to test himself against the best of the best. And so, yeah, he's going to rise to the occasion. He's going to challenge him most of the race. And if he does get the best of him, +120 is the best number I could find. And I know that sounds icky, but What have we said lately, Cody? If it's going to cash, it's going to cash, right? Plus 125 is better than nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing is you just pick one of these guys, you roll with them. If you like the SVG side, you take it. If you like the Zilisch side, you take it. I don't think you're wrong to take either one. They are equally both very great on these road courses. They're both in great cars. They're in as equal of equipment as you're going to get, both JRM cars. And they're going to go out and they're going to be the two best cars in this race. No question about it, hands down. Now, do they wreck each other? Does something happen? Is it bad pit penalties, engine failure, whatever? Things can go wrong. That's why I like having some Taylor Grays at 50-1, some Sam Mayer at 22-1, but it's going to be one of these two guys most likely. Pick your poison between them and take those guys.
Absolutely agree. JC, Ash actually saying, thinking the offseason we need to talk about craft beers from U.S. and England. Oh, I'm down with that all over the place. Captain Two Stroke, all over a yellow rose tonight. Best IPA he's ever had, hands down. And welcome, too. I don't know that I've ever seen you, Captain Two Stroke.
Yeah,
but
I don't know either, but
perfect.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Lynn wants to know if you find a Pilsner that you like. JC wants to know what if
Miller Lite, baby. There's no better Pilsner than Miller Lite. I mean, that's all you need, Lynn.
Look, if you don't drink alcohol, JC, Celsius makes some very good flavored drinks. I had my first one in Sonoma, and I actually do.
Is that the one you have to be careful because they put alcohol in the cans, or was it the other way? I don't remember.
I don't.
Didn't they just recall a bunch of Celsius because they actually put High Noon in the cans?
Did they really?
Yeah. But yeah, as Ash is bringing up, tons of decent non-alcoholic options out there. We've got a brewery. I think they're out of California, actually, Rod, Athletic Brewing Company. All they do is brew craft beers. So, like, they've got IPAs, they've got Oktoberfests, Mexican lagers. Also, they're all non-alcoholic beers. So, there's plenty of options out there. Or, hey, grab a Celsius if you want.
Grab a Celsius, but make sure it's not a High Noon at all. Captain Two Stroke saying never been here for the live. Well, thank you and welcome in. And for all of you guys that are joining us
to have you
in the live. Yeah, absolutely. Parlaying SVG for Cup and Connor for Xfinity. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think, whichever way you want to do that, like I'm doing SVG for both. If you want to do Connor with SVG, it helps. Their numbers are so short in both races, honestly, because they're both short in both of them. But it's using them as parlay pieces with whichever combination you like, I think is a good way to go about it.
It's a fantastic way to go about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get out your pen and paper. We are going to go over our bets for this Mission 200 at the Glen from Watkins Glen International. I started you off with Justin Allgaier over Austin Hill at -105. Tossed in Riley Herbst over Carson Kvapil at -120. Stole Cody's play with Austin Green, top 10, +225. Listen, don't let me get to the dock first. And now, you know what? Never mind, because I'm never getting to the dock first. There's never going to be a chance for me for the rest of the season to get to the dock first after this. I sealed my fate.
I just made the doc from Portland, Rod, and sent it over to you. Go ahead and check that out.
I think it's going to have Austin Green on it already, right? No matter what number it's at. Christian Eckes, top 5 number at 16-1. Sam Mayer, top 3 at 5-1. Connor Zilisch, for me to win this race, if it's not SVG, at +120. And then Cody started you off with Sammy Smith over. Heartbreaking. Jesse Love at -115. Gave you a Taylor Gray over Nick Sanchez at -115. Tossed in Sammy Smith as a top 10 car. On top of it at -120. William Sawalich returning into the good graces of Cody, giving you a top 10 at +150 for him. Kaz Gralla, a top 10 at +400, so 4-1. Yeah, I can read. God, it's Thursday. He also is riding the Taylor Gray car lift, giving you the top 10 at -120, the top 5 at +475, and to win at 50-1. We hereby proclaim Watkins Glen SVG week and at -125 for the Xfinity Series. We're taking that, and we're also taking the parlay with the Cup. You can get that at +349. And then Sam Mayer to win the race at 22-1 as an insurance play for this race. That's good stuff, Cody. I'm glad we've reached the end of the week. I don't know if my brain can handle anything else after that.
Yes, I think I need a reset and a break. So, but we're going to have plenty of stuff over on the YouTube still. We will having some DFS shorts. I'm going to try and get those out sooner rather than later. I'm going to try and just do same style we usually do. Give out, three hitters, just a very condensed version to still give you that. And then always try and get some underdog stuff out either over there or in the Discord, depending on when and how they get stuff out. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, Rod, follow me on the X at Husker_Z. You can find all my stuff over there. And there's a lot of it. NFL preseason stuff. I got an article out right now. We got preseason games tonight and the next 4 days. So I have my favorite play from each one over there. Found some, I think, pretty good angles on those. So check that out, along with the tons of other stuff. You can find it all over there. We'll see you guys next week for Cup and Truck only at Richmond.
It's a little sad that we don't get to talk Xfinity, but that's all right because they each get their own episode the way God intended it to be. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bottom, everything got going on. Whether it's here, whether it's in between media, Elliot and I talked all things Watkins Glen last night. So if you're expecting it tonight on a Thursday, go look because it's already up, and we've already talked about Watkins Glen. That's where I enjoyed my great Hen House Chaos Machine IPA. And probably the bets got worse as the day progressed. But that's all right. Also, there's a link in the bio to my DGens Only play of the day. We're talking darts today. Darts? Yeah, I've covered volleyball. I've covered darts. I've covered esports. It's been a fun ride for the SGPN, so find those links there as well. Like Cody said, we'll see you on the shorts. Not in the shorts. On the shorts. And we'll be back next week with more. Love you guys. Join the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. All right, we'll see you guys next week. And until then, let's go racing and let it ride.
All night.